I am Edgar Okoth Onyango, the Executive Director at Scaling Up Nutrition Civil Society Alliance Kenya, famously known as SAN CSA Kenya. Hand in hand is a phrase that means a lot to me, but also to the Civil Society Alliance here in Kenya, because it's a call to action that requires that we work with a multi-sectoral approach to ensure that there is sustainable food systems here in Kenya. And the things that we look at when we're talking about hand in hand is in terms of ensuring that we better production systems, because with production systems, it means that we will have sustainable food systems in Kenya. But it is not just better production systems. It's about ensuring that whatever we produce is also of high nutritive value. And we're not just talking about nutritive value. It also means that the production systems enhances the environment, because climate change here is here with that. But then how then do we also ensure that we have a better environment? The overall thing that we're looking at when we're talking about hand in hand is in terms of how then do we also ensure that the community have a better overall health. So that is what it means for us in terms of civil society action, but also to me as an individual that leads quite a number of civil societies here. Yeah, throughout the years, in terms of amplifying the voices of the civil societies, but also ensuring that we enhance accountability, there are a number of things that we've seen work for us. Number one is in terms of ensuring that there is accountability, the mutual accountability among the civil societies. We are seeing more and more civil society organizations talk to one another, and they reinforce what they're doing, but also they ask very critical questions among themselves. So that is one of the things that we've seen work for us. Number two is in terms of enhancing community accountability. So civil societies have really built the capacity of the community members, and we are seeing more social accountability being reinforced at the community level. The third one, we are seeing a lot of skill transfer from international organizations to the community-based organizations through the localization agenda. And this is enhancing the capacity of the civil societies at the community level to ensure that there is sustainability. So those are the three major things that have seen over the years in terms of working with civil societies, but also in terms of ensuring that the voices of the civil societies are heard. There is need for collaboration between the civil society, the government, and the research institutions. And I'm going to talk about three major aspects that I believe needs to happen. The first one is in terms of collaboration on co-creation. Co-creation is critical because it provides context, and context is critical in terms of ensuring that there is trust among the partners who are working on a particular area of interest. If we have co-creation between the civil societies, the government, and the research institutions, it will mean that we bring the best out of the three. And when the best meet the best, then things will actually be able to work out very well. The second aspect of it is in terms of how do we translate research into action. This requires multi-sectoral and multidisciplinary approach. And this is where now the three entities, that is the government, the civil society, and also the research institutions also come in, whereby the research institutions will be able to generate the evidence that we need. The government will be able to bring in the aspect of policy, but also in terms of aspect of implementation. And then the civil society will be able to bring in the aspect of the community voices, but also bring in terms of how that we also bring in the global aspect into what's happening in the country. The third aspect of it is in terms of being able to provide the much needed resources, be it financial resources, be it materials, but also be it equipment. So I believe that whenever civil societies, whenever the government and the research institutions collaborate in those three aspects, then at the end of the day, we will be able to meet the needs of the community, because the three huge institutions, they serve the community. And this collaboration will be one of the things that will be needed in terms of how then do we ensure that the lives of the communities are transformed. Access to affordable food is one of these things that I'm really passionate about in terms of how then do we enhance this to happen. There are a number of challenges that community face, and I'm going to talk about three. One is when we talk about affordability. Food prices have skyrocketed over the years, over the months. Every single month we find that the food prices are actually going higher and higher. And especially the nutritious food products, these keep on going higher and higher. And these really make them out of reach to many community members. So that's number one. Affordability really makes it become very difficult to get. The second one is in terms of issues to do with access. Access has been a challenge, especially whereby you find that the value chain, or when you're looking at the whole chain from production all the way to when it gets to the market. So the supply chain is broken in many aspects, and this can also be one of the things that make the nutritious, fresh food not be accessible to many citizens. And then the third aspect of it is in terms of the nutritive value of this food. It's very difficult these days to get food that is really high in nutritive value. And this also makes it very difficult in terms of how can the community members be able to get this food that they really need. So just to recap, the first aspect of it is the issues to do with affordability, and then accessibility, and then the nutritive value of food also makes it really become out of reach to many citizens. My call to action on this year's World Food Day is on two major fronts. One, to the leaders, is let us provide the political goodwill that is required to enhance policy implementation. But not just policy implementation, is climate smart policy implementation. So that would be number one. And then the second aspect to the leaders is in terms of let us provide climate smart financing, because this will enhance resilience of the community members, but also provide the much needed financial muscle for community members, but also farmers, to be able to enhance production. And then the third aspect of it is that the leaders need to be champions of transformative food systems, because a number of us look at the leaders in terms of what they are championing. So that would be my word to the leaders. To the community members is in terms of let us rally ourselves and hold our leaders accountable, because then this will push them in terms of enhancing production systems, but also ensuring that they live to their commitments. And then number two is adoption of climate smart food systems, because this will ensure that we produce the right food, the right quantity, in the right way that we need. But also, lastly, is let us practice what we say and what we want the leaders to be able to follow, because at some point we can also direct leaders to what we need as a community and as a society. For this year's World Food Day, it is imperative that we take up our responsibility, we take up our roles, because this is a collective responsibility. The leaders need to be able to enhance our policies so that they're climate smart and we are able to implement them. They need to be able to champion climate smart financing for food systems. The community also need to take up their role by ensuring that they adopt climate smart food systems that will ensure that we produce sustainable and nutritious food that enhances our health. The civil societies, this is a call to you. Ensure that you hold the government accountable, ensure that you hold yourselves accountable, but also build the capacities of the communities so that they take up their role and they're able to practice social accountability effectively. As I finish, I would like to utter one of these things that I heard the late Professor Wangari Maathai say, and it goes like something like this. I'm going to paraphrase. When the soil is exposed, the soil is crying, the soil is naked, and it needs to be clothed in the right dress. Na waacha na hayo na mtafakari.